Greetings, fellow YouTuber. My name is Tim. I know, buddy. I know. Yeah, you were saying Easter is here. Yes, it is. Easter is here. And you are waiting, aren't you? Yes, you are. You are waiting for the Easter walrus. Don't you mean the Easter bunny? Where you're from, it's the Easter walrus. Okay. And and you got a present for him. You do. This is it. This is a present for the Easter walrus. It's a hot dog. The Easter walrus loves hot dogs. That's that's great. Okay. I tell you what. Why don't you go fill your Easter basket? Easter waffle iron. Got it. Okay. You go fill that. Okay. And yeah, you go get ready. Okay. And I'll take you from here. All right. Gotcha. Easter waffle iron. Yeah. I gotta talk to him somehow. Greetings, fellow YouTuber. My name is Tim. Welcome once again to another hour of your life you'll never get back. Of course, we're talking about GainerWorld Live. My name is Tim Gainer, your captain on the ship of fun. Anyway, if you are new here, thank you very much for joining us. We certainly do appreciate it. Always appreciate having a new viewer. If you are a new viewer, by all means, welcome. If you're watching the replay, not that bad either. We appreciate that. As you can tell, we've got this cool little chat thing right here that we'd love to have you come in and talk to us on. Gary from the Incredible Edibles Band has already checked in, talking about audio issues. Yeah, we got those cleared up. Gary, thanks you so much. Certainly do appreciate that. Lots to talk about. If you are new here, come on into the chat. Let us know where you're from. We'd love to talk to you. We always have lots of friends that come in. Of course, this is Easter weekend, so, you never know. Things could get crazy. Things could get a little weird. Always hard to say. But I can tell you that we had a lot go on this week. Boy, oh boy, this is another one of those shows that just kind of writes itself. And if you're into fun, if you're into music, if you're into just talking to people, by all means, please hang around for the next hour because there ain't no talent, that's for sure. So yeah, lots going on this week that we can't even wait on, to be really honest with you. Heard about this the other day. We'll just start right off. And it's one of those, Liz checking, fun? Yes, fun. Phun, fun. Allegedly. That's what they're telling me anyway. So anyway, of course, one of the things to start off with, we heard about this the other day. Unfortunately, one of the great comedic minds, an absolute genius, a guy that was completely fearless in the world of comedy, and I won't say he broke barriers, but he sure did push them. That's for sure. Of course, I'm talking about Gilbert Gottfried, who passed away, unfortunately, on Tuesday at the age of 67 from what is being called a prolonged illness. And it turned out that I guess he had a degenerative muscular disorder. I'm not even sure what the name of it is. We're still trying to get the information on this. But yeah, we got this word. We got this word Tuesday on Twitter. Unfortunately, yeah, saying that that Gilbert passed away. We're heartbroken to announce the passing. This was on Twitter Tuesday from his family. We're heartbroken to announce the passing of our beloved Gilbert Gottfried after a long illness. In addition to being the most iconic voice in comedy, he was a wonderful husband, brother, friend, father to his 2 young children. And although today is a sad day for us, please keep laughing as loud as possible in Gilbert's honor. Love the Gottfried family. Passed away 2:35 on Tuesday, 2:35 p.m. on Tuesday from recurrent ventricular tachycardia due to myotonic dystrophy type 2. I don't even know what that is, to be really honest with you. I just know that it's kind of a drag that he's gone. Left behind his wife and 2 children that you see here. And from what everybody is saying is that he was a very gentle soul. Believe it or not, if you're a fan of Gilbert's comedy, then you know that he pushed the boundaries. He pushed the boundaries in comedy. One of the funniest things that I ever saw him do was a roast that he did for the Friars Club for George Takei, Zulu from Star Trek fame, and did probably about 12 minutes of some of the filthiest stuff you'd ever want to hear. But you've got George Takei and everybody everybody there just crying. They're laughing so hard. And if you've ever seen a movie called The Aristocrats, you know what that joke is all about. And by the same token, you also know that Gilbert did a great job of telling that once during the roast of Hugh Hefner. And I would strongly recommend, if you're easily offended, don't go looking for it, because it will offend you. In fact, most of his material will offend you. But it's just so doggone funny. And he was also it was one of the great character actors of our time. Who doesn't know that he was he was the voice of Lago in Walt Disney's Aladdin. He also was in other movies like Look Who's Talking 2, Problem Child, Beverly Hills Cop 2. I guess there was a documentary in 2017 that I guess he was in, that they had made. But yeah, everybody and their sister is talking to him. Elena popping in saying, "Hey, the Danimal is watching while I cook dinner. Hey to the Danimal." Oh, yeah. But yeah, and the tributes, as you can imagine, are just pouring in at this time. One thing that you may not know, and how could you not, if you know his voice, he was also the voice of, remember this? The Affleck Duck. Remember that? Yeah. Yeah, he was good there until about 2013 when he started making some jokes about people in Asia and the tsunami, and they dropped him like they dusted him like a bean crop. So, yeah, it's kind of a shame. He's survived by his wife, Dara, 14-year-old daughter, Lily, and 12-year-old son, Max. And as you can imagine, I'm not even going to go into it. Just the amount of tweets that are coming in and all the tributes that are pouring in. Just everyone from Jennifer Tilly, Bill Burr, Dane Cook, Penn Jillette, Jason Alexander. I won't even begin to go into them. I won't even bother with all that. But there is one picture that I saw when I was researching for the show, and it really kind of caught me. And this is where we're at this year. We're losing them again too fast, y'all. We're losing them again way too fast. And it's just such a shame. So, yeah, hail and farewell, Gilbert Gottfried, one of the comedy greats. One of the last of the true geniuses of comedy. Unfortunately, gone at the age of 67. It's really kind of a drag. But, yeah, this is where we're at. And that was Tuesday. Again, it was one of those weeks that, my assistant asks me this morning, what do you got planned for the show tonight? I don't have to plan anything. It's already been written for me. And it's kind of a drag. It's kind of a drag, to be sure. One good thing that happened, I did get, Gary was asking last week about details on this, and this just popped in right before we went on the air, so we really didn't have any details on it, but we do have details on it now. We do have details on the new Pink Floyd song. Yes, you heard right. I said new Pink Floyd song. Unless you've been under a rock for the last 7 days. And if you have, first off, welcome back. Number two, you're probably hungry. And C, yeah, Pink Floyd released a new song. There's a song that's out right now. It's called Hey, Hey, Rise Up. And it's going to be, it has been released to the general public. The money for it is going to raise, the money raised is going to be for humanitarian relief for Ukraine. Apparently what happened was, I guess the lineup is what everybody's really getting really mad about. A lot of people are saying that this isn't Pink Floyd. Actually, what it is, it's the lead singer, a Ukrainian lead singer of a band, called, and you have to forgive me. I don't have the name of the band in front of me, and I wish I did. Oh, Boombox. I'm sorry. I beg your pardon. Yes, Andrei Kukunov of Boombox is the lead singer of this song. And he is singing a traditional Ukrainian folk song, which leads into this new song that is played by David Gilmour, of course, Nick Mason, and another bass player and another keyboard player, because obviously Richard Wright having passed away a few years ago, and well, let's face it, nobody's talking to Roger Waters these days. So there is that. But apparently, and people are just upset about the fact that they released this under the banner of Pink Floyd. A lot of people are saying, no Waters, no Floyd. That's not Pink Floyd. There's no Syd Barrett. There's no Rick Wright. Obviously, this is not Pink Floyd. But then you've got to remember, and this is my thought on it. This band had been through, although I won't say that they'd been through several incarnations, but they did go through a couple of personnel changes. Remember Syd Barrett, was lead singer and guitarist, and he was replaced by David Gilmour, and then Roger Waters left the band, so they left without they carried on without Roger Waters, and then Rick Wright passed away. And it's kind of, I talked about this on the show last week. When is a band not a band anymore? When is a band, in this case, is this Pink Floyd? You've got two of the core members of the original band, David Gilmour and Nick Mason. And if you stop and think about it, really, they aren't even they aren't core members, because David Gilmour joined the band after Syd Barrett left. But it goes through the whole rigmarole of, when is a band not a band? Was it the Monkees, even though it was just Mickey Dolenz and Mike Nesmith that toured? Is it the Who when it's just Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey? So there's a lot going on with this, but regardless of what you say about, this, you have to give credit where it's due. These guys made a song, and yes, it's under the Pink Floyd banner, and it's raising money for humanitarian relief in Ukraine. So, hate it all you want. Go out, stream the thing, be even better if you went out and bought it, because it's for a good cause. And it doesn't get much better than that. I mean, seriously. So, but I would love to hear your comments on this. We only briefly touched on this last week. And if you're watching the replay, please leave comments down in the comment section down below. When is a band, and I've made this argument many, many times in the past. When is a band not a band? You've got two members of Pink Floyd saying that they're Pink Floyd. On their last tour, two members of the Monkees went out, two of them obviously being deceased. But, was it the Monkees? Was it just Mickey Dolenz and Mike Nesmith? What about, the Beatles? You put Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr on the same stage. Well, the Beatles are back together. Are they? Aren't two of them dead? Roger Daltrey, Peter Townsend, they're going back out on tour this summer. Is it the Who? Let me know. Talk to me in the comments. Talk to me in the comments down below if you're watching the replay. Gary says it's Pink Floyd to me. I'm inclined to believe that. I'm inclined to agree with that. As long as you don't try to change the overall sound or the overall concept of the band, I think that, yeah, it can be done. Gary also adds, last month, Guess Who played here? The only original member was the drummer, but they still call it the Guess Who. Yes, and, if I don't see Randy Bachman, okay, if I don't see Burton Cummins, to me, that's not the Guess Who. Iron Butterfly was another great example of that. These guys constantly changing personnel and people coming back into the band and whatnot. And don't even get me started on King Crimson. This man, with the exception of maybe 3 albums, did they ever have what's called a solid formation? Ever? So yeah, it's kind of hard to say. It's really, really hard to say. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Like I said, put it in the comments there. Put it in the comments down below if you're watching the replay. I certainly would appreciate hearing to you. When is a band not a band? Or when is a band no longer the original band? Is it the personnel? Is it the concept of the band? Is it the music of the band? And doesn't the personnel affect the sound of the band? There's a lot that goes into this. But I would love to hear from you on that. And in the meantime, as long as we're talking about music and stuff like that, something I haven't had a chance to do in a while. Because there's always so much going on these days. There's always something going on. Yeah, let's do that one. I haven't played this in a long time. This Arlo Guthrie song. And just kind of let me just kind of slog through this one. Come and walk a road with me that seems to have no end. Come and spend some time with me. That seems not to begin. Come with me and love me, babe. I may have time again. Meantime, I'll keep sailing down this highway in the wind. Evening comes on with the day and follows it with night. Love you and to be with you and say that it's alright. Come with me and love me, babe. We may have time again. Meantime, I'll keep sailing down this highway in the wind. There's times I feel like going, and times I want to stay. Times I do not feel so well, and times, well, I'm okay. Now you've got time to love me, babe. We may have time again. Meantime, I'll keep sailing down this highway in the wind. The fortune teller tells me I've got some place to go. Looking, trying to understand and wonder how she knows. So I must be going now. I'm losing time, my friend, looking for a rainbow down this highway in the wind. So I must be going now. I'm losing time, my friend, looking for a rainbow down this highway in the wind. Told you I'd slog through that. It's been a while since I played that. Haven't played that song in a long, long time. Always happy when I can. So that's what's going on with that. Gary's like, I always liked Arlo, probably because I'm one of those guys. Don't want a pickle, just ride around on my motorcycle. Cole. Gotcha, pal. Not a problem. See, we're like this, man. We're like this. It's all good stuff. Anyway, Kurt McKinnock has checked in from the Great White North. Curtis, always good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much. He tells me it's nicely done. I appreciate that. I always appreciate any votes of sympathy that I can get. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much, my friend. But anyway, as I said, there's a lot of things that are going on this week. Speaking of guitars, and we just were just a moment ago. And you can always tell when the news is serious because glasses are coming out. Just telling you. It's how we work on this show. If you're a musician, and I know you are, I can see it in your eyes. You're like me, and if you're like me, then you're always looking for new guitars. You're always looking for new equipment. Well, if that's the case, how would you like to buy Kurt Cobain's guitar? No, I'm not kidding. Let's say that, let's say if you got about $500,000 to spare, you can do this. According to Loudwire, the guitar that Kurt used, that he played and he used for the Smells Like Teen Spirit video and most of his concert tours in 91 and 92 is being put up for auction next month by Julian's Auctions as part of their Music Icons event, it says here. It's a 1969, as you can see right there, it's a 1969 Fender Mustang that's expected to receive, get this now, it's expected to receive between $600,000 and $800,000. Okay, first off, I don't care what you tell me. First off, well, let's be clear about this, okay? First off, it's a Fender. Now, Fenders are good guitars. Don't get me wrong. I've got a couple of Squiers sitting in my closet right now that I use and I have used for live shows and recording. I use Squiers, and also the fact that it's a left-handed guitar. So you got that going for you. It's a 69 Mustang, so that's post-CBS. And anybody who's a musician and knows about guitars understands when I say pre-CBS. So that being said, it's a good guitar. Is it worth $500,000? I don't know about that, except for, whoever, the guy that played it. So, I mean, I totally understand that. According to Darian Julian, who is the president, chief executive officer of Julian's Auctions, he's saying, and this is a quote, "To see this fabled guitar, one of the most culturally significant and historically important guitars, not only of Kurt Cobain and Nirvana's legacy, but in all of rock music history, can come into our auction house, and has been one of the great privileges and most distinguished honors," he said, tongue-tied. The guitar is a left-handed 1969 Fender Mustang in competition Lake Placid blue finish, for those of you keeping score at home, and is expected to receive opening bids alone of between $600,000 and $800,000. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. It's the same guitar that Cobain can be seen playing in the video of Smells Like Teen Spirit, and again, this is something that, and Gary's even saying Kurt was one of our local boys. This is true. And his name, of course, was all over town, and his brains were all over the wall. Hey, but it's the same guitar. Rarely do personally owned items from Kurt Cobain with this incredible and unprecedented provenance of his life and career become available for public sale. So, other items are going up for sale. On that auction of Kurt's, actually, is going to be a 1965 Dodge Dart, which is the only known surviving vehicle that was driven by him, as well as a skateboard, a hand-drawn image of Iron Maiden's Eddie, and a painting that Cobain made of Michael Jackson. And all the information, if you're interested, of course, is available on the Julian's Auction website. So there you have it. If you want a piece of history and you got $500,000 to spare, huh? You want Kurt's guitar? Don't see anything wrong with that. That would be a beautiful thing to have. But again, like I said, it's a Fender, okay? It's bad enough that you got to pay $5,000 just for a Gibson, but now you're asking us to pay $500,000 for a Fender? Really? I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love me some Nirvana. Nevermind was a heck of an album, and I love it to death. No pun intended. But I'm sorry, too soon? Friend of the Cobains? You want Courtney Love? But what would you pay for Jimmy's Fender? Which one? because a friend of mine actually owns one of the guitars that Jimmy played. It's one of the burned out Strats. Let me put it to you that way. It's kind of up in the air as to if it was the one that he burned at Monterey. But he did pay, and I think he paid something like, it wasn't all that much. It wasn't all that much. I think he only paid like 10 grand for it, which I found surprising. I found really surprising that, something, and Gary, believe me, I understand why you just asked me that. But let's face it, there is a great big, there's a great big difference between Jimi Hendrix and Kurt Cobain. And I think you and I are both in agreement with that. If it wasn't for Jimmy, I don't think Kurt would be around, quite frankly. Or we wouldn't be talking about him in the capacity that we are. Okay? So, but yeah, so the question, if it was his original, if it was his Woodstock Strat, would I pay $100,000 for that? Oh yeah, easily. One of the burnt out Strats, I'm not sure that people understand the significance of that. And I think that's why it was as cheap as it was. So yeah. And again, it's Fender. But those guitars, my friend, those were pre-CBS. And I would pay good money for those because I have played pre-CBS Fenders in the past. And to say that they are a thing of beauty is a complete and total understatement. These, if I can borrow one from Mike Myers here, it's like butter. It's like a butter. It's like a big gooey stick of butter. Just holding it in your hand and playing it in that way. Yeah. I'd pay good money for that. Burnout, you may have to play with the electronics. Hard to say. But yeah, would I pay five figures for it? Sure, absolutely. Kurt's, not so much. Although it is a 69. But I wasn't a fan of the Jags anyway. I wasn't a Jag fan. Never have been. And people are like, you've got to try one. Ken Valskis in my band had a Jag at one point, and I was just like, nah. But that's just me. That everybody's got their own taste. So we've got that going for us. So yeah, that's what's happening there. So yeah, all kinds of things going on. As a matter of fact, there is something that we need to talk about on the show. Right here and now. The biggest news story of the week. In fact, this just in. That's right. Breaking news of the biggest story of this week. Never mind Kurt's guitar. Never mind Pink Floyd's new song. Never mind Gilbert Gottfried, God rest his soul. I'm talking, of course, about the number one story that everybody is talking about. I'm talking about Bennifer. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is true. 19 years after they called off their engagement and broke the collective hearts of Hollywood gossip busybodies all over the world, Jennifer Lopez announced that she and Ben Affleck are once again engaged. That's right. According to the good folks, please hold your vomit until after we get off the air. It makes me queasy. According to Room 8, 19 years after calling off their engagement, Bennifer is engaged once more. J-Lo announced her engagement news to actor Ben Affleck with fans via her On the J-Lo newsletter, which I never knew existed until this very story. Get it? On the J-Lo. You get it? In the email, she posted a video of herself admiring a large green stoned engagement ring on her finger. The clip then pans up to her face, shows her appearing to wipe away tears before she says, "You're perfect." And J-Lo trailered the major announcement via her Twitters and the Instagram accounts, where she encouraged followers to register to her newsletter. Imagine the odds of that. So, yeah. Of course, obviously, and here's the thing, okay? They started dating in July of 2002. Now, follow along in this. Those of you who are new here and don't realize the earth-shaking events that are taking place as of this very moment. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck started dating in July 2002 and announced their engagement in November of that year, but the couple were to be married the following September, but postponed the wedding days before the ceremony. And in January 2004, they called the engagement off and they separated. Now, they had gotten back together in March of last year, to which at the time, and I found out about this, the Las Vegas odds, people are betting on this couple. It's just ridiculous that the odds of them actually going through with an engagement were 300-1. Today, the odds are 3-1 for those of you betting that they will get married. Further news coming in from USA Today. This is how we all found out about this. On Tuesday's installment of her newsletter, on the J-Lo newsletter. The Marry Me actress began, this is according to USA Today. Did you ever imagine your biggest dream could come true? Now, I know if a lot of you are like me, you're asking yourself, how in fact did Ben propose to Jennifer? You want to know about that, don't you? Of course you can. I can see it in your eyes. Don't lie to me. According to Jenny on the block, or Jenny from the block, excuse me, and this is a quote, again, courtesy of USA Today. Saturday night, while in my favorite place on earth, in the bubble bath, my beautiful love got on one knee and proposed. I was totally taken off guard and just looked in his eyes, smiling and crying at the same time, trying to get my head around the fact that after 20 years, this was happening all over again. Kind of puts a lump in your throat, doesn't it? A load of gas in your intestinal tract, I realize. So anyway, as you can tell here, that Jenny, Ben actually proposed to Lopez with a ring featuring two smaller diamonds on each side and a large green diamond in the middle, which is a different shade from the pink diamond when he popped the question the first time. To continue, Jenny tells us, I was quite literally speechless when he said, "Is that a yes?" And I said, "Yes, of course it's a yes." And she added that the proposal made her smile so big and tears were coming down my face. She said this was feeling so incredibly happy and whole. Also, I guess that there's a real significance in the color green, according to this, because, well, you may remember a certain green dress, and Jennifer explains that it was the color of the iconic Versace dress that she wore to the Grammys in 2000 that we can't show here for fear of being being age restricted, because that was quite a revealing little dress. I realized, this is Jennifer talking again, according to USA Today. I realized there were so many moments in my life where so many amazing things happened when I was wearing green. It may be a coincidence, maybe not, but I took it as a better look. I realized there was no coincidences. Green has always been my lucky color, and now, for sure, it always will be. So what are the odds, kids? What's the over-under on this? Las Vegas is saying 3-1 that this time they'll go through with it. I hope they do, because, I mean, at the end of the day, what are we talking about here? We're talking about two people. Two people clearly love each other, and you want them to. You want them to have good things happen to them, okay? Apparently, and this is again Jenny talking, Jennifer, J-Lo, Jenny from the block. Notice that Ben is not saying anything. There's something to think about. It was nothing fancy at all, according to Jennifer, but it was the most romantic thing I could ever have imagined. Just a quiet Saturday night at home, two people promising to always be there for each other. Two very lucky people who got a second chance at love. And of course, she, was married to, before she was married to, who was it, Mark Anthony? Yeah, Mark Anthony. He was married to Jennifer Garner. And she was also going out with Alex Rodriguez from the Yankees for a little while. But yeah, so the two are heading back down the aisle, and aren't we thrilled? That is the news story of the week. Never mind wars, never mind inflation, never mind the coronavirus. Bannifer is back together, by God. Gary is saying, okay, I can get a good night's sleep. You better believe it, pal. I think we can all rest a little bit easier this year. I think we can all rest a little bit easier now that Bennifer is back together. I mean, come on. We lost Kanye and Kim. They must feel the need to try to be relevant in the tabloids again. No, I think it's just extra PR for Marry Me. Because in case you hadn't noticed, this is where they kind of made it public that they were a couple again. There's been other, and ever since the engagement, there's been shots like this in front of their house. Okay, the paparazzi is now allowed in front of their house, and Ben pulls out the car, and he gets out. And she comes running up. She gives him a great big lip lock. And she gets in the car and drives away. Isn't that adorable? Yeah. Next time you're buying $5 gas, just think to yourself, Bennifer's engaged again. That'll make your day better, won't it? Curtis is popping in. Let's see what he has to say. Not saying that I watched Marry Me, but but it was a pretty terrible movie. It needs some good press. Okay, sure. Okay, first off, I'm brain cramping here. Who was the male lead in that? Somebody, again, who needs to try to find some relevancy in their life. And that wasn't exactly the perfect casting. But then again, yeah, I even Gary's going, yeah, Curtis, what are you trying to tell me? Owen Wilson, yes, that's it. Owen Wilson Boy, you want to talk about your power Hollywood couple of Owen Wilson and Jennifer Lopez. It's almost as if it's as if the producers are going, look, we know this thing's a turkey. Let's just get somebody. Let's get some name power. Jen Lopez. Now, who wants to star opposite Jen Lopez? Yeah, we got Owen Wilson. I'm going on record as saying it was my wife's pick. You know what, Kurt? I can relate to that. I can understand that, my man. It happens. Mm-hmm. I've seen several movies in my life that I didn't necessarily want to. There's something really creepy about watching a 3D version of The Wizard of Oz. Now, at first glance and at first mention, you think to yourself, boy, that sounds like a really good idea. And not so much. Yeah, the X was, yeah. They're showing The Wizard of Oz. We've got it on DVD. But it's in 3D! It's at the IMAX. Yeah, and we're going. Okay, fine. I mean, a movie that you've seen 400 million times, but now it's in 3D. I can relate. Believe me. I was coerced into spending $10 a shot to watch Miracle on 34th Street. The original. I mean, I'm talking the original. With Edmund Gwynn. Yeah. And all that. And Margaret and all that. Yeah. $10 a shot to watch that at a theater. Why? I don't know. Had it on VHS. Had it on DVD. I can stream it anytime I want. But I'm going to go spend $10 a shot to go watch it on the big screen. What else you got? So yeah, believe me, I can relate, my man. I can truly relate. And yeah, whatever it takes to keep peace in the family. I get it. Speaking of which, let's do this one more time. Let me see. Bear with me for just a second here. There we go. Let me see here. What do we want to play? I know I played this last week, but for some reason it's popped back into my head and I just feel the need to play this. You're not supposed to hear the song. Perhaps you never will. What if it should come out wrong? Perhaps it's better still. Please understand that you and I have gone through so very much for so very long. And I don't think these growing feelings are all that wrong. You're not supposed to hear these words. Perhaps it's just as well. 'Cause what if no should be what's heard? But then only time will tell. You know the things I have inside, but I'm just a man filled with foolish pride, and it's fear for my heart that I hide. All that I hide. You're not supposed to hear the song. If not, then even so. After all is said and done, I just want you to know. You see, we must all carry on, no matter how weak, oh, how strong. But it's my love inside of your heart I think should belong. You're not supposed to hear the song. There you go. Little thing that we did. Thank you, sir. I certainly appreciate that by all means. Alrighty. Put this back over here like so. Curtis saying, oh, hang on just a second here. We have a surprise guest. We have a surprise guest on our phone in the last minutes of our show. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome live from Denver, Colorado, I'm talking about my occasional guest co-host, Chris DJ OPM King. What's up, dude?
What's up, man?
What's up? What?
Not too much. I figured I'd catch you for the last, 6 minutes or so of your show.
I appreciate that, as always, because, I mean, people are asking, when's the black guy coming back? Because you're boring as hell. So,
I tend to agree with him. Anyway, but
hey.
No, this life is good, man. I'm chilling in my hotel room and waiting and trying to put my set together for tomorrow night, and looking out my hotel room window at the sun setting over the mountains, dude. And it is majestic. It is just incredible.
See, now my son, that my son Eric is out there now, as well as my nephew Colin, and they both tell me the same thing. They're like, Dad, you got to get out here. It's like ridiculously, it's like ridiculously beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. But the one thing that you got to watch out for if you're not driving out here, if you're flying, coming into Denver Airport is rough because there's so much. There's like the thermals that they have to go through.
Oh yeah, the turbulence because of the turbulence because of the turbulence from around the mountains. Sure, I get that. Yep. That's cool. Well,
and our pilot must have been like a naval aviator reliving his carrier landing days or something, because that landing was rough like you wouldn't believe, dude.
I see.
I told the lady sitting next to me that he must have been a Harlem Globetrotter in a previous life.
Because he's dribbling all over the place.
He really was.
The big question, of course, is what the heck are you doing in Denver besides running from the law?
Funny. We gotta edit that out, right?
We'll get that in post. It'll be fine.
Colorado Anime Fest. We are at the Weston Denver Tech Center.
Mm-hmm.
It is just running for the weekend. It is another one of these fan-run conventions that I tend to frequent pretty regularly, and it's relatively small. It's about 4,000 people, and it's a fun place to be. It's nice and relaxed, a lot less fast-paced than where I usually go.
Oh yeah. But the thing of it is that I mean it's not just you. Our pal DJ Greenflow is going to be out there as well. Yep. He's running a set. I mean, there's a bunch of these.
He's actually the talent wrangler.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, he brought us in, and we're just glad to be here. A little money in our pocket, free flight, hotel. You can't really gotta love it.
Like, it doesn't get any better than that. That's cool. And so for anybody that might be in the area, in the general Denver area. Denver Denver Comic Con? I think you said it was Denver Anime Con.
No, it was Colorado Anime Fest. Colorado Anime Fest, COAF.
Okay.
It is at the I keep saying Weston, but it's not the Weston. It's the Marriott Denver Tech Center.
Okay, so
easy enough to find. It's in an industrial park.
Cool.
So yeah, just come by and visit us if you're out here.
That sounds like a plan. And when are you spinning? That's the big question.
Tomorrow night, I got the second set. We start at 10, which means I'm on at 11.
Whoa. Okay. Sounds like a plan. So anybody in the Denver area, any Mile High fans that are watching the show, by all means, head on out there and catch our old pal DJ OPM doing what he does best. So
yep,
sounds like a plan. And what is it that you are doing in your off hours now that you're in the Mile High City?
Oh, the usual stuff, ordering out food, hookers, blow, that sort of thing.
So the usual musician fare. Okay, that's good.
Living the life of a rock star,
I have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, so that's cool. All right, well, everybody check that out. Tomorrow night, glad you called, dude. Appreciate it. Have fun and rock the house, and I want a full report when we get back.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, dude, no problem. We will be chatting at you.
All right, take it easy.
Later. Our pal DJ OPM King hanging in there tomorrow night in Denver. Go check him out. If you like good house music, that's the man to see. And in the meantime, that's going to kind of wrap things up, even though Liz is telling me, sorry, Tim, she's off the market. I know. $1 million booty. Now it's Ben's. Really? Anyway, that's going to wrap it up from here. By all means, yeah. Do it. Would I really want J-Lo?
That's going to be a no from us, dog.
Yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. Listen, that's going to do it for this week. Be good to each other. Be good to yourselves. We're almost at full herd immunity, so, keep getting the shots. Get the boosters if you're eligible. Get the shots. Get the mask. Wear the mask. Do all that stuff. Hugs 24/7. The showcase is coming up next. Hugs at WRGG. Go check that out. And we will definitely be back here next week. Be good to yourself. Be good to each other. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. That's what we're all about. We'll be back here. In the meantime, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. We're almost up to 96 subscribers. We're up to 96, almost to 100. So give it a like, give it a subscribe, hit the bell, hit the donate button, do all that good stuff. In other words, if you like it, hey, you know what to do. We'll see you next week. We out. Peace.